Welcome to Denver, one of the best cities in the nation, and in my opinion, there's so many things to do here, especially if you're a hiker, snowboarder, beer drinker, it doesn't even matter. I think that's the best part, where there's so many things to do that there's something for everyone here in Denver. But there are things that you should not be doing here in the Denver area, and these are the 8 don'ts of Denver. So just don't do it if you're a tourist or if you're already living here. I feel like there's some really good information here for you. This video is not going to be like the other videos on YouTube about Denver where it's like, hey, this is what it's like, this is what the traffic's like, and things like that. I'm actually going to give you some of the local insight, the local knowledge of the things you should not do or should not mess around with here in the Denver area, and they provided some gold nuggets, and here I am presenting it to you. It's these not so common facts that will separate you from the average tourist, from the person who has that local knowledge and has some good insight and might even impress your friends before you even come here. With that being said, let's go on to the first don't here in Denver. And number 1, don't expect only the best food. Only until recently, Denver's food scene was pretty lackluster. I mean, the Denver food scene back in the day was more filled with chains, a lack of international options, and a lot of the good mom and pop shops were just out of the neighborhoods and they were just tough to get to, or they closed way too early. It's interesting, a lot of the locals that have lived here for 20 plus years will say that the food scene here in Denver is not that great, but I beg to differ actually. There are some really good restaurants here. So in 2023, Michelin came by and gave out some of its Michelin star ratings to some of the restaurants here in Colorado, and 3 of them are in Denver and 2 are just outside of Denver. The 3 here in Denver are the Wolf's Taylor, Bruto, and Beckon. You gotta go check them out. I haven't seen them for myself yet or tried their food yet, but it looks amazing on photos. And if you're visiting Denver and you're a foodie, you gotta go check out the 2 other Michelin rated restaurants just outside over in Aspen and Boulder. Over in Aspen is Bosq, B-O-S-Q. You gotta go check them out. It's beautiful, plus excellent views. And the Frasca Food and Wine over in Boulder. I mean, both of those places should be places that you should be visiting if you're from out of town. So you have all the more reason to go check out those places and those restaurants. And the fact that I've never heard of these restaurants before means that I have a lot of exploring to do myself. And I consider myself a foodie and a lover of food out there. And I don't think the Denver food scene is going to go anywhere but up and just better overall, and much like the Denver real estate market. And if you're interested in hearing my opinions on the Denver food scene and some of my favorite restaurants, cafes, ice cream shops, things like that, you gotta go check out the video, The Ultimate Food Guide 2023. And I might make one more for 2024, but go check that out. It's 26 minutes of my favorite restaurants. I'm sure you will enjoy if you're just visiting, or maybe if you're local even, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. The number 2 don't here in the Denver area is don't underestimate the elevation. So with it being the mile-high city, Denver is closer to the sun. So the atmosphere is thinner and the cosmic rays from the sun will definitely hurt you, your eyes, and you definitely need some sunscreen. And with that thinner atmosphere, you have less oxygen intake per breath. So you definitely got to be conscious of that. And that's why a lot of people struggle upstairs or hiking or something like that. It's just a lot different here compared to pretty much anywhere in the US. I consider myself to be an avid runner and athletic in general, and I still have trouble with stairs, but here's the thing, you just gotta wear sunscreen, wear a hat, sunglasses, whatever it might be, just cover up that skin that's exposed to the sun, and chapstick, and also stay hydrated. And on that same vein of lotion and chapstick, I mean, the first month that I was here, I forgot about the whole lotion thing, and my knuckles were bleeding with how dry they were. It was kind of gross, and sorry I had to share that. So no, every time I get out of the shower, I always put on lotion just to get ready for the day, and the thing is that you don't have to fear the elevation, just respect it, right? I mean, especially coming from San Diego, where I was from, coming over to Denver, it was a pretty big change, but as long as you get acclimated to it, I'd say within 3 to 5 months, maybe 6 months, your lungs will be more acclimated and you'll be ready to face the weather. Number 3 on the don'ts of Denver, you gotta go to Red Rocks early if you're going to a show there. get to Red Rocks early and park in the upper northwest lot. There are a ton of stairs that lead up to the venue, like the Red Rocks venue. But the thing is in the upper northwest lot, it's the easiest access to the venue, and you only have to take a couple of stairs versus like a full-on 10 minutes of stairs in order to get to the venue if you were to park anywhere else. And a ton of people travel all over the country just to visit Red Rocks, and they don't know this piece of information. So if you're gonna go see like Jason Mraz or Bill Burr for comedy, or EDM legend Rez over at Red Rocks, do yourself a favor, get there early and park in the upper northwest lot. You do yourself a favor so you don't get sweaty by the time you get to the venue. Plus, if you get there early, tailgating is half the fun. You get to hang out with your friends before the show starts. Everyone's amped up and full of adrenaline. Have some food and relax a little bit, and then you can head into the show with some good spirits. And another thing that I did not know about Red Rocks is that at the bottom of the stairs after the shows, Chick-fil-A pitches up a tent and they sell their chicken sandwiches at the bottom of the stairs. And it's awesome for that late night food or that craving as soon as the show is over. Now, granted, the last time I went to Red Rocks, Chick-fil-A did have its tent popped up, but it was $8 per chicken sandwich. And I was like, oh my God. The thing is that they know that you want that chicken sandwich. So I was willing to pay that $8 and it was all worth it to me. So just be prepared for it. I think they take cash and card, but just be prepared for it if you wanted to have that sandwich. And number 4, or I guess I'm going to say 3.5 of the don'ts of Denver, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It definitely helps with the algorithm, and I'm sure you're enjoying this, and there's so many more don'ts of Denver that I think you will find very useful. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so that you do not miss all that valuable information about Denver. I just want to make sure you're well prepared if you were to ever visit or live here in Denver. So the actual number 4 don't of Denver is do not go driving through the mountains on Saturdays if you really do not have to. If you value your time and you want to get more runs in, make sure you go, let's say on Monday through, let's say Friday. Even that's pushing it. I would try to go like Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday just to guarantee you get more runs in and not have to worry about that traffic going into the mountains. And here's an even deeper tip. One of my local friends said do not go snowboarding in Breckenridge, especially on a Saturday, but snowboarding in Breckenridge is sort of a kind of a no. There are a good amount of runs over in Breckenridge that have that slope, which is great, but the thing is if you don't catch enough speed, there's a lot of flat land in some of those runs and you just don't know it. So it's kind of a bummer if you don't pick up that speed or if the conditions are not right. And then all of a sudden you have to unclip from your board and you have to walk out to the next downhill. It's just kind of a bummer. So just make sure you're fully aware of that as a snowboarder going to Breckenridge. So take the day off, go on a Tuesday, enjoy more runs and less traffic. You will thank me later. And number 5 on the don'ts of Denver, and this is great for you golfers out there that want to come to Denver and need to rent clubs or bring your own clubs. Don't forget to go to City Park. The thing is that City Park is really popular and amongst the locals and tourists in general. So the City Park golf course always gets booked up, but I have a little hack for you. For the common person to book something on the City Park range, you can only book 7 days in advance, and by that time, it's already booked up and it's really hard to get a useful, time and dates for those golf sessions. So one of my friends is a golfer and he noticed that these places would be booked 7 days in advance and even longer. And he's like, wait, how am I only able to book 7 days in advance, but these other people are able to book so many days more in advance? And then he found this, and this is great for you golfers out there. Make sure you sign up for the loyalty program for 2024. That way you could book 14 days out in advance. And it's only $40 a year to get that membership. And it is so worth it, especially for the City Park range. So wrapping up number 5, if you are an avid golfer and want to go golfing at City Park, which I recommend you do, sign up for that loyalty pass so that you can get access to it and you can book 14 days out in advance. It will be worth your time. And number 6 on the don'ts of Denver, and this is going to be a little bit more controversial because I see it on all these other YouTube videos, is don't go to 16th Street Mall. I know it's a pretty popular place and it has some outdoor seating, restaurants and shopping and boutique shops and all that good stuff. I mean, maybe things might change, in my opinion, might change once the downtown area is all fixed up by the end of 2024, but at this point in time, it's just like any other outdoor mall. Don't make it a high priority to go out to 16th Street, to make it a thing to go out there. It's nice and all, and there's ice cream shops and all that good stuff, but I just want to make it a high priority. There's so many other cool things that you could do in the greater Denver area. So instead, go out for a hike, go biking, grab a beer, go to Meow Wolf or something like that, and then eventually wrap up over in 16th Street, grab a bite to eat, grab some more beer, all that good stuff. I just don't think it should be a high priority. And number 7 on the don'ts of Denver, do not mess around with the parking meters. Obviously, I don't mean like don't vandalize them or don't break them, but what I mean is take them seriously. I can't tell you how many times where I've gone to a real estate agent meetup or a real estate investor meetup and I was over the 2-hour limit by like 15 minutes and I would get that 45-minute parking ticket. Super annoying, and they are very diligent on it, especially if you're in the downtown area. So make sure you just, I don't know, go out from your meeting, go out from the restaurant, dedicate that extra couple of quarters just to make sure you don't get that extra ticket. Number 8 on the don'ts of Denver, do not underestimate the price of registering your vehicle here in Denver. So I've registered 3 vehicles here in the Colorado area, and 2 of them were from San Diego, and the latest one I recently bought here in the Denver area. So I'm just gonna go over each of the vehicles, the years that they were made, and when I registered them, and go over the costs as well. So from San Diego, my 2008 Ford Ranger cost maybe about $120 to register the vehicle, and by that time when I moved here, it was 12 years old, so I think that was a big factor. I also brought over my 2018 Toyota Prius, and that costed me $1,200. And then the third vehicle I actually purchased from a dealership. It was a 2022 Ram ProMaster, and that cost me about $790. So yeah, it's a pretty penny, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart, so make sure you're well prepared for that. But I will disclose that in each of these vehicles, I actually signed up for the Wildlife Pass, which is also $29 for the year, and I can go to any state park for the next 12 months. So just letting you know that that's included with that price. And on that same vein, do not buy the state park pass from the actual state park offices. If you were to do that, it costs about $89 per year to have unlimited access to the state parks in Colorado. But if you just buy it from the DMV, it's only $29 for the year. So I'd say it's so worth it. And every time you renew your registration, just sign up for that Wildlife Pass and you're good to go for another $29 for the next year. So going back to the registering of the vehicles, I mean, my 2008 Ford Ranger costed me $120 to register the vehicle. And to register my 2018 Prius, it costs about $1,200, which is what, 1,000% increase or something like that? Insane. So I'm thinking that it might have to do with the age of the vehicle or something like that, or maybe even the condition. So if you got an older vehicle, I would not anticipate it being more than, let's say, $700, depending on how old it is or the condition or whatever it might be. But at the same time, my Ram ProMaster cost me about $790. So there's not really like a way to gauge exactly what those fees are. But you can see what those fees are on the DMV website. So if you just search calculate registration fees for my vehicle, there's a link in there that you can click on and you can find out what those numbers can be or what the estimate might be. So there you go, the 8 don'ts of Denver. And with all that, hopefully that this provided a little bit more insight than what you've been seeing on YouTube or other places, because this has that sort of like local touch to it, especially the city park and the golf ranges there and where to park at Red Rocks. I feel like there's a lot of good information in there that even I myself did not know. So I really liked the conversations or that local aspect of it, and hopefully you found some value from it. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and don't miss another video of mine. And if you're ever curious about, let's say, buying or selling real estate, I would love to help you out. All my contact information is down below in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.